to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour show. This is your host, Ricky C. Simmons. Man, this is 93.7 The Ticket. I got to give a big shout out to 93.7 The Ticket, to Matt Warner at Empire Fencing, man. I appreciate what you guys do by sponsoring the show. I just don't want to take it for granted. I appreciate everything you do, and I respect you guys with the utmost. You know, tonight's show is going to be very special for me because of my guest. I just want to give you guys a little heads up before I bring him on. But the theme is helping others. You know, I spend a lot of time trying to help people stay encouraged and stay motivated. Well, there's people that help me stay encouraged and motivated as well. And that happens to be who I have for a guest tonight. And we're going to go through a lot of stuff, but I got to bring him on because I got a lot of stuff I want to get to. Welcome to the show, Coach Pettibone.
Hey, Ricky. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing wonderful, man. First of all, before I even forget, I want to say thank you for being willing to be on the show. But, Coach, we're just going to get right into some stuff that I think is very important. I know it's important to me. So first thing I want to say is, again, thank you for being my guest. But, Coach, just to give a little background on you, where did you grow up, Coach?
I grew up in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas, man. So you knew a little bit about Greenville before we met.
That's right. Yeah, I grew up in Dallas. I went to Jesuit High School.
Man, and, I remember that.
I played football for the Jesuit Rangers, and I got recruited to come to the University of Oklahoma by a guy named Bud Wilkinson, and who was a great coach at OU. He was the head coach of the Oklahoma team that won 47 straight, which is still a national record. Unfortunately, I was not part of the 47-game winning streak. I was on the first Bud Wilkinson coach team that lost a conference game in 10 years. I was on that team, but you know, it was a great honor to get to play at Oklahoma, get to play for Coach Wilkinson, and then, you know, then I went to the service and played division level football in Korea. Then I came back out and I was going to go to law school, but then a guy named Jim McKenzie came to Oklahoma from Arkansas.
Yeah.
And Coach McKenzie wanted a former Bud Wilkinson player to be like a graduate assistant coach on his staff. So I dropped out of law school and I became a freshman football coach at OU in 1966.
Wow.
And, so I stayed at OU from 66 until after the 1978 Orange Bowl, Arkansas-Oklahoma Orange Bowl game.
Well, you know what, Coach?
Then I left.
I got to stop you right there because I want to ask a question. You had all of these Oklahoma ties, and you know what I'm going to ask you. You had all these Oklahoma ties, and you know I wanted to be a Sooner. I was a pure running back in high school, and y'all ran the wishbone, so you know what I wanted to do. And tell us what happened after 1978.
Well, it just so happened that when I left Oklahoma, a guy named Tom Osborne was the head coach at Nebraska, and he offered me a position. See, I'd been the recruiting coordinator at OU, and I wanted to be a head football coach, so I needed to be an on-the-field coach. And Coach Osborne offered me a job to head up Nebraska recruiting, but also coach the receivers. And so I left Oklahoma and I came to Nebraska, And that's when I ran into little running back over in Greenville and named Ricky Simmons, and another kid named Nate Mason, the quarterback over there for the Greenville Lions. So that's when I bumped into you, Mr. Simmons.
Well, Coach, first of all, I'm gonna say this. When you got to Nebraska, I got so many things to thank you for. So I'm just gonna save them for later. Maybe I'll do them after the show and we can talk. But I do want to say, when you came to Nebraska and you headed up the recruiting process. You started something called an airplane fund. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we did. Yeah. Okay. This is a great story. Coach Osborne brought me into his office one day, and he said, "Jerry," he said, "I'm glad you're here. You're going to head up recruiting." He said, "One of the things that has come obvious to me is that when you were at Oklahoma, you guys had more private aircraft to fly recruits in than we did." And so he said, we need to close the gap, and we want to start a fund. We want to call this the Airplane Fund. And I want you to research all the private plane companies all over the United States, and you find one that's got some jet airplanes that we can rent, and we can fly recruits in on these jet airplanes into Lincoln from all over the country. And so I said, fine, I'll find out, Coach. And there was a company in Columbus, Ohio called Executive Jet Aviation. And I got a hold of these people. They had a fleet of Lear jets. All right. So I asked them, I said, if we leased, or we had you fly five trips from different parts of the United States, from the East Coast, from the Southeast, from the Southwest, from the West. If we flew 5 trips into Lincoln, and we put 4 or 5 players on each of those teams that we had qualified ahead of time, that they were really good football players and had a legitimate interest in looking at Nebraska, how much would that cost us? And the guy told me that would cost you $50,000. It'd be $10,000 a trip. So I got this information. I brought it back to Coach Osborne, and I said, Coach, there's this company that has these Lear jets in Columbus, Ohio, and we can use those jets, and we can fly 5 trips from different parts of the United States into Lincoln. We can work really hard to make sure that the players we put on those planes have a legitimate interest in Nebraska, and that's what we'll do. And he said, how much? I said, $50,000. He got on the intercom, and he got a hold of Cletus Fisher. Cletus Fisher recruited in Omaha. So he brought Cletus down to his office, and he said, Cletus, you call all the guys up at Sleepy Hollow. I think it was Sleepy Hollow Country Club in Omaha. He said, you call all the guys up there, and you and I and Jerry, we're going to go up, and we're going to talk to all these guys about this airplane fund that's going to close the gap between us and Oklahoma. So I went up there. I had this map of the United States that I put on this pedestal, and I had these pieces of string from Lincoln going to the East Coast, going to the Southeast, going to the Southwest, going out to the West, and everything. And I got up there, and I explained to them, I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring some really good football players into Lincoln from different parts of the country, and it's going to be a first-class program. And then Coach Osborne got up, and he said, man, this is what we're going to do. If you want to be in the airplane fund, we can't give you season tickets because all you guys already have season tickets. But we'll give you 4 tickets to an away game. He said, and then what we'll do after recruiting each year is we'll have a banquet, and you and your spouse can come to Lincoln, and we will give you an accounting of the money that we spent in this airplane fund. We'll show you the players that we brought in with this airplane fund, and where they came from, their high schools, everybody else that recruited them, and they made a decision to come to Nebraska, and then we'll have a nice meal one evening, and we'll do that. He said, in order for us to do that, we're going to need $50,000. And I tell you what, Ricky, he hadn't even got $50,000 out of his mouth, and those guys started whipping out their checkbooks and started writing those checks. And as I recall, when we left we left Omaha that night, we had over $70,000 for the airplane fund.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, Coach, I will be honest and say I have a little story about that too. Being from Greenville, man, well, you know how small Greenville is. It's a one high school town. And we didn't even have an airport. And they landed a private jet in Greenville out there at East Systems at the time. I guess it's L3 now, but they do a lot of work on, the president's plane. But when they landed a private jet in Greenville, Texas, man, you guys made us the talk of the town. I mean, that was big time for that day, and at that period of time, because we had never seen nothing like that before. And I can honestly say, Nate and myself, when we got on the plane, we were just kind of like, we were really kind of scared because we had never done that before. But it was very impressive. And I'm glad you shared that story, because I think that was at a time when I guess Nebraska was coming up just a little short when it came to Oklahoma, and that was always the big game every year, Oklahoma and Nebraska. And
you know who else we got in that airplane fund?
Well, who else did you get?
Well, couple of your teammates.
Okay.
guy named Mike Rozier.
Yeah, I heard that, young man.
Mike got on a plane. He and another guy from New Jersey named Irving Fryer.
Yeah, I think I heard that guy too.
So we flew Mike and Irving from someplace in New Jersey into Lincoln, and they both came. Well, we had to send Mike to Coffeyville Junior College first because he didn't qualify academically. So we sent him to Coffeyville, and then we brought him to Nebraska. But Irving came right away. He was from Mount Holly, New Jersey. He's a good student. So he was a freshman. He was part of that.
And I believe you brought another.
And then there was a quarterback. There was a guy down there. His name was Turner Gill. He was from Arlington Heights in Fort Worth. And he climbed on one of those planes and came to Lincoln.
Well, Coach, I just wanted to, I wanted to share those stories because, a lot of times when we talk about, the past, especially when it comes to Nebraska and the football, it hasn't always, we haven't had the success that we were used to. But I think in my mind, I'm hoping that we're headed back in that direction. That's just my hope. Because I'm a Husker fan, man. I can't help myself.
Sure.
Even though I wanted to be a Sooner, you converted me. but Coach,
well, as I recall, you did a pretty good job.
Well, Coach, you know what? When you showed up in Greenville High School talking about, I think your pitch to me was something on the lines of, if you come to Nebraska, we'll be sitting on beaches in Miami, eating oranges at the Orange Bowl. I think I remember saying that. And at this time, I'm in Greenville, Texas. I'm like, this man might be done lost his mind. We're not going to Miami. But you sold me on it. And then I think the icing on the cake was probably when Coach Osborne showed up and had the conversation with you and my parents. And I can honestly say, though, coming to Nebraska was the best decision that I never made. Because
somebody else made that for you, huh, Ricky?
Yeah. It's Clyde and Bertha Simmons, rest in peace. But my parents, I was all in on Oklahoma, man. I got to be honest with you. I was all in on that wishbone. I just thought that was the deal for me. And my mom and dad were sold on you and Coach Osborne. So 2 against 1, man. So, go Big Red. That's what it ended up being. Well, Coach, let me ask you this now. After you spent, how many years did you spend in Nebraska actually coaching and recruiting?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Yep. And after your 3 years here, what was next for Coach Pettibone?
I left Nebraska. I went to Texas A&M with Jackie Sherrill.
Oh, okay.
And he brought me down there to head up recruiting and coach the receivers.
Okay.
And I was assistant head coach.
Okay. Oh, now when you was at A&M, you was kind of back into your stomping ground. You knew the areas to recruit, right?
Yep, I did. I recruited mainly in Texas when I was at A&M in the Dallas area, Dallas-Fort Worth area, and out into East Texas. I recruited out there. And the 3 years that I was at A&M, we had 3 top 10 recruiting classes. And when those kids were sophomores, juniors, and seniors, Texas A&M won 3 Southwest Conference championships.
Wow.
And that was when Kevin Murray, Kyler Murray that played in Oklahoma.
Right.
Kevin Murray was our quarterback at A&M during those years.
And that was Kyler's dad, right?
That's Kyler's father. He was from North Dallas High School.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, I will say this. I mean, the times that the places that you went, I mean, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Texas A&M, everywhere you went, you were successful. You had a lot of success. And that speaks volumes, because a lot of people can't do that. I mean, you're good at what you do, and I benefited from it like a lot of other players. So I just want to again say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, you took advantage of the opportunity. You were a great player at Nebraska.
I had a lot of motivation, because the temperatures wouldn't allow me to be comfortable on the sideline. It was easier to try to win a position and get on the field so that you can stay warm.
I understand.
Coach, after you left A&M, what was next for you?
Well, then I got the head job at Northern Illinois.
Wow. Okay.
So I went to DeKalb, Illinois, become a head football coach in Northern Illinois.
Now, Coach, let me ask you before I forget. Is that where you and my big brother hooked up, Mr. Jeff Kinney?
Mr. Jeff Kinney was on my staff. I had met Jeff when I was at Nebraska, and he was in the insurance business there in Lincoln. And he asked me one time, he said, Coach Pettibone, if you ever get a head job, would you hire me to be on your coaching staff? And I said, yeah, sure, Jeff. I mean, I don't know what position, I mean, you've never coached before. I mean, you're a great player at Nebraska. I mean, one day in 1971, he scored 3 touchdowns against Oklahoma in the game of the decade. And I'll never forgive him for that. So anyway, when I got the job at Northern Illinois, I hired him to be my receiver coach, because I'd coach the receivers at me and Gene Huey, we coached the receivers at Nebraska.
Correct. Yep.
And I coached the receivers at Texas A&M. And so I said, Jeff, you coach the receivers. I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you the drills to run. I'll tell you what to work on in practice. And you can be my receiver coach. So he did. He did for 1 year.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey, Coach Pettibone, I was just sitting there thinking, you made all of these different moves, man. I mean, but they were like strategic moves because you had a goal.
Right.
And your goal was to be a head coach.
Right.
And you got there. And see, that kind of goes back to this whole theme that I was talking about, helping others. You know, I really respect the fact that being a coach, from what I can see from a player's perspective, it's not an easy job, man, because you got a lot of different people you're trying to keep happy. And,
right.
And you managed to navigate that, and you kept everybody kind of at bay. And I guess I could say this, but if someone repeats it, I'm going to deny it. I just want to say thank you again for letting me use the telephone.
Yeah.
So,
did I let you make some phone calls every once in a while?
Yeah, I appreciated it too, because man, some phone calls came in handy, man. I was ready to try to check out, and you let me.
I think I probably had you over to the Pettibone house for dinner every once in a while.
Yeah. So I think I kind of excused myself so I could find the phone. But anyways, Coach, I just thinking about some of the good times we've had. Coach, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
We're going to come back, and we're going to talk some more about your career, man. I really, really don't want y'all to go nowhere. We're going to be right back with Coach Pettibone on 93.7 The Ticket. It's to get you happy on hour.
Who wants Simmons? This holiday season, as a thank you for shopping with us, Sartor Heyman Jewelers is giving you free diamonds. Now through December 6th, receive a pair of sparkling diamond stud earrings, a stunning diamond pendant, or a gorgeous diamond tennis bracelet for free with your qualifying purchase. We only have a limited number to give away, so once they're gone, they're gone. Don't wait on this one. Visit Sartor Heyman Jewelers, where your gift shopping shines brighter. In Lincoln at South Point Mall, downtown, and in Grand Island on State Street.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, wanting to thank you all again for your continued service. November is off and running. Check this out. Get up to $12,000 off or 0% financing on select new vehicles. We have great lease specials with new Trax and Trailblazers starting at $299 per month, and new Blazer EVs leasing for $399. Great payments, discounts, and of course, 0% financing. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All finance with approved credit, leases with $2,500 down.
This holiday season, recharge with the Planet Fitness Black Card for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. So instead of fighting a stranger in the mall over a stuffed T-Rex, bring a friend for free and work out on the TRX. Instead of freezing in line for a lame holiday deal, relax in the Black Card Spa with some hydro massage feels. Instead of being trapped at your in-laws, escape to any of our 2,600 Planet Fitness locations. Sign up today for the Planet Fitness Black Card. Just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Deal ends Friday, December 6th. See Club for details.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up Simple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up Simple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break.
There's quite a situation going on.
What?
Jake's been asked to step away on Fridays from now on. They want to bring young Ben has been dubbed as the curse breaker. He's been dubbed as the curse breaker, and Jake's been asked kindly to step away.
Just for Fridays.
Just Fridays only.
Game day only. Game day eve only.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic when life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade. Whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Hey, Bach, man, we got any comments over there, man?
Yeah, we got a few comments from YouTube and Facebook. First off, YouTube, Brett says, "Happy Sunday, Jerry and Big Bruh. There are a lot of ties historically between Nebraska and Oklahoma." Odious Lee shouts out from Facebook, says, "Great show, little bro." And Theola Cooper also comments, "Good show, good memory."
Thank you guys, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And I got to give a huge congrats to my little brother, Brett, down in Tulsa. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he celebrated 6 years clean and sober, man. Just know I'm proud of you. It's a huge accomplishment. Keep doing big things, and I look forward to seeing you at some point. Actually, I think I'll be in Tulsa here for the NFL draft. I think they're having a party down there, so maybe we'll get together. Okay, back to my guest. Coach Pettibone, you still with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, Coach, now, you was up in Illinois coaching, and you said, how long did that last as the head coach?
I was at NIU for 6 years.
6 years. Did you have success there?
Yeah, we did.
I'm not really surprised, Coach. That was a trick question. I already knew you did. You always have success wherever you went.
Well,
you stayed there 6 seasons, and then what was next for you?
Well, we ran the wishbone offense in the Mid-American Conference and had a lot of success. We beat Kansas State twice. We beat Wisconsin. First time that a Northern Illinois team had ever defeated a Big Ten team in the history of the school. And
Wow.
in fact, NIU is going to play Fresno State in the bowl game. I think it's the Great Potato Bowl or something like that in Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
So NIU is going to play Fresno State in that bowl game. And 1989, Northern Illinois beat Fresno State 73-18.
Oh man,
we rushed we rushed the ball for 733 yards against Fresno State.
So in other words, it's safe to assume y'all wasn't passing the ball at all.
No, we ran that double option up and down the field, Ricky. They couldn't stop us. So anyway,
I was talking
after.
Hey, Coach, I was talking to my producer, and I was explaining to him about that wishbone. That wishbone was a very favorable offense for running backs, especially ones that was allergic to contact.
Yeah.
So I understand.
That's right.
I understand when it comes to getting outside the numbers and checking people's foot speed. And that seemed to have been one of the things that you were doing. I mean, you guys rushed for 700. That had to be a record.
Well, at the time, it was the third highest single game rushing record in NCAA history.
Wow.
Number one was Oklahoma, rushed for 749 against Kansas State when they were terrible. Number two was Alabama, 741 against Vanderbilt when they were terrible. And we were number three. And when we beat Fresno State 73-18, they were leading the nation in defense against the rush. They had allowed their first five opponents 97.6 yards a game, and we rushed it for 733. So,
well, you knocked them out of the top ranking. I know that.
We did. They weren't at the top anymore after they played us.
Well, Coach.
So anyway, after Northern Illinois, having a lot of fun, was offered the head job at Oregon State. So I went to Oregon State. Went to Oregon State for 6 years.
Okay. The Oregon State, that's the Beavers?
The Beavers. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Now, you had 6 seasons there?
Yeah, I had 6 seasons at Oregon State. We ran what we call the spread option offense. It wasn't the strict wishbone like we ran at Northern Illinois. We tried to add a little passing attack to it because the teams that we played in the Pac-10, like USC and UCLA and Washington and Stanford and Cal and Arizona State, schools like that, they had their players were a lot better than the players that we played against in the Mid-American Conference. So we had some success, and we started to turn the program, and we had a couple of years where we won. We're 4-7 one year. We were 5-6 another year, and we beat the Ducks twice. In 1991 and 1993 in Eugene, the Autzen Stadium.
Oh wow!
Where the University of Oregon, they've got a great program, and I'm the only head coach at Oregon State that beat Oregon in their stadium in back-to-back years, 91 and 93. So
wow,
really proud of that.
Yeah, well, that's quite an accomplishment because Oregon has definitely turned the page since then, because they're one of the top programs now.
Boy, they're number one in the nation right now. They've got a great football team.
Well, Coach, I was going to ask you, I want to talk a little bit about what you're doing currently.
Okay.
And I really, really want you to kind of give us the inside scoop on what you're doing now.
Okay. Well, when I got out of coaching, I left Oregon State in 1996, and I went to work for an Oregon-based company that hired me to set up their college recruiting program for a door and window manufacturing company. And then I did that for several years, and then a teammate of mine at Oklahoma called me up and asked me to come back to Norman and be the president of a nonprofit called Sooners Helping Sooners. And this is a nonprofit that helps former Oklahoma athletes in all sports. Once they complete their eligibility, we help them find jobs. And I've been doing that. I've been doing that now for about 10 years.
Wow. I mean, Coach, we started this segment off with, or the show off with helping others. And, throughout your whole career, helping people has been a part of the deal for you, is what it sounds like.
Yes, it has been. It has been in football, being a coach and recruiting young men like you and Nate to come to the different schools that I coached at. But now I'm helping former athletes in all sports, wrestlers, swimmers, basketball players. A lot of the guys that we help are football players because they're the major revenue producing sport at OU. So there's more football players than any other sport. So we do help more of them, but we've helped a lot of those people. Just as you know, a lot of young men that play college football today, they all think they're going to the NFL.
Correct.
They all think they're going to the NFL, and you know what NFL stands for, Ricky?
Not for long.
Not for long. That's it. That's what it stands for. And there's a lot of them that play college football that never even get a chance to be in the not for long league.
Right.
But the ones that go to the NFL, they don't get to stay very long.
Right.
So
right. It is a very short-lived career.
It
and
is.
A lot of people take it for granted. Like you say, they think they're going to make it and they're going to be there for an extended amount of time and make a ton of money and then retire and ride off into the sunset. And it doesn't always end up like that.
Doesn't work like that for most of them. So we end up helping a lot of those guys that don't get to go, and they thought they were going to go, and they have no idea about what it's the next step in their life.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of work with the Career Center at OU. We do a lot of personality testing to figure out what an athlete's strengths and weaknesses are, and what's a good career for them, and try to help them get ready for an interview and how to dress to go and interview for a job, and research your companies so they know what the company's all about. They can ask intelligent questions when they interview. And then we help them get a job, and we've placed a lot of them in the last 10 years. And then part of not only getting them a job, but we also follow up with their employer after they've been there a while to make sure that they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
And if they're struggling, if we can do some counseling to get them back on track, and so it's been very rewarding to work with the athletes we've worked with.
Well, Coach, I was going to ask you too, because you speaking of helping people, I am going to take this minute to say thank you, because you've helped me tremendously. I mean, you've donated to my foundation. You've been very vocal about supporting me in my mission, and then you were nice enough to write a letter on my behalf to the pardon board here, and I can't thank you enough for that. And you also plays a major role in my documentary. So I just want to publicly say thank you for all the things that you've done for me. And I respect everything that you do. And I just wanted to get that in before I forgot or I ran out of time. But
well, let me tell you, Ricky, I believe in what you're doing. I believe in your ministry. I know that you're doing a lot of good for a lot of people. And I will continue to support what you're doing as long as I'm able.
I appreciate that. Now, Coach, I got to ask you this. Do you ever run into a man that I never got to play for that I wanted to play for by the name of Barry Switzer?
I'm going to have my anniversary, my 47th wedding anniversary is on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
And I've been married to Susie Pettibone for 47 years, and I'm going to take her out to dinner, and Coach Switzer and his wife are going to be with us.
Oh, wow, man, that's going to be special.
I will tell him that he broke your heart because he was recruiting you to be a wishbone halfback at Oklahoma. And then it just so happened I left. I was in charge of recruiting for him, and I left and came to Nebraska, and I stole you away from OU. How about that?
Yeah, well, you be sure and remind him that, you know what, it wasn't all me that didn't want to be there. It was my parents.
I will
Between you
remind
and
him of
Coach
that.
Osborne and my parents, I didn't stand much of a chance. So that's why I ended up a Husker, not a Sooner.
There you go. There you go.
Well, hey, Coach, we're going to take one more final break, and then we're going to come back and wrap the show up. Don't y'all go anywhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket, just to get you happy on out.
Slay the holidays this year with a gift that'll really get them going. One that's built to win, like the new Honda CR-FR Motocrosser. One that's built for fun, like a Honda Mini Moto. Or one for each member of the family, like a Honda CR-F Trail Bike. At Rod's Power Sports, you'll find the motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side they'll love. During the Honda Gifts That Go sales event, you can slay the streets in style with a Grom Mini Moto, slay the trails with the CR-F 50F, or pile into a Pioneer 1006 Deluxe Crew that can carry 6 elves over the fields and through the woods all year long. This year, don't just give any gift. Give the gift of outdoor adventure with a ride they'll never forget. Don't miss out. Head to Rod's Power Sports in Lincoln, Nebraska during the Honda Gifts That Go sales event. It's your chance to slay the holidays and your gift list. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for complete program and safety details.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today. Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Well, you know, I got a text during the break. I think that place where you and Coach Osborne went to start that airplane fund was the Happy Hollow Country Club. That sounds familiar to you, Coach?
What's the name of it?
I think it was Happy Hollow Country Club.
Happy Hollow. That's it. That's where it was.
Yeah, someone just sent me a text, and I was just making sure we had that right. I didn't want to not give them credit because thanks to them, I got to ride my first private jet.
That's right. Happy Hollow.
Let me ask you, we only got a few minutes left here, but I got a couple of more questions, then I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Now, I need you to do me a big favor. I need you to wish your wife happy anniversary for me.
I will.
And I definitely need you to remind Coach Switzer that that I wanted to be a Sooner.
I will tell him.
And I want you to take credit for me not being a Sooner.
I guarantee you, Ricky, he will say that if he would have known that he was that close to getting you, that he would have closed the deal. He would have out-recruited Coach Osborne. I'm sure that's what he's going to say.
But no, I just, again, Coach, before we do run out of time, I do want to say thank you for spending some time and sharing some great memories with me. It's very important that I personally don't forget where I came from and how I got to where I'm at. And you're a big part of that. And that's why I asked you to be a guest. And, it was really kind of funny how this even came about. I was down in Greenville last weekend, and I was driving back through Norman, and I thought about you. And when I called you, as always, you answered the phone. Again, man, I just want you to know that I appreciate you, Coach. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know, and I appreciate everything you've done and everything that you'll probably do for me in the future. I just want you to know in advance that it's never taken for granted. And sometimes we don't tell people that we appreciate them until it's too late.
Right.
And I wanted to do it publicly while you can hear it from me and not from someone else. So again, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there how do people reach out to Sooners Helping Sooners? I'm just curious.
Okay. Well, if they're interested, we've got a website. They can just go on www.SoonersHelpingSoonersInc.com, SoonersHelpingSoonersInc.com, and you'll go on to our website. You'll get to see our mission statement. You can get to see examples of athletes, kind of testimonies of athletes that we've helped with Sooners Helping Sooners. And there's actually a donate feature. If anybody, I don't know if there's any Huskers out there that want to contribute to an Oklahoma program that helps OU players find jobs, but if there's somebody that maybe
there's a lot of Oklahoma fans up here now. Don't think there's.
I know that there's not. Maybe there's a wife that's a Sooner and the husband that's a Husker. I don't know. You never know.
Well, I mean, Coach, like I said again, I just want to thank you. I have one final question that I must ask, and this is just from my own personal knowledge, but I ask all my guests. When you do find some downtime, which I know is very scarce for you, how does Coach Pettibone get his happy on?
How does he get his happy on?
Yeah.
Well, I don't play golf. I don't read books. I just, any extra time I get, Ricky, I like to spend with my family. My daughter Shanda and her husband, they live in Fort Worth. We're going to go down there for Christmas to spend time with them. And so any spare time I've got, I want to spend with them and my wife, Susie.
Well, that's fair enough, Coach. Well, listen, I want to thank you again for being my guest. I always wrap my show up the same way every week. And it basically goes like this. Every day you bless the saint is just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. We'll see y'all next Sunday.